Hi everybody and welcome to Sourdough Knits podcast. This is a podcast about mainly knitting and sourdough, but also other stuff that I'm interested in and happen to do. My name is Olga and I'm coming to you from Toronto, Canada. On a very nice sunny day. We've had quite a few, maybe a couple of weeks of pretty cold weather, and today is super warm, sunny. The snow is kind of melting. There's like that spring feeling. The birds are chirping. So I spent some time outside in the morning with my daughter. It was so nice not to freeze. Even though I like the cold weather too, as long as there's no wind. Because when there's wind, then it's really hard to be outside. But even if it's like -10, -12, but there's no wind, it's okay. I can handle that for like an hour, especially if we're like sledding or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much our past couple of weeks, just spending some time outside and enjoying the weather, whether it's colder or warmer. It's been pretty nice. So yeah, I don't really have any updates or anything like that, so let's just get into the knitting. So the big thing I've been working on, and I really hope that by now I'll be able to show you a finished object, but it's still a whip. It's almost done. I could have had it done if I didn't have to rip up a little bit of the body, but let me get them out. I have the sleeves done. I guess I should say what it is. So it's the no frills sweater I'm making for my friend. So that's the front. So yeah, almost done. Almost done. Just a little bit more. I think it's gonna be really warm and cozy. I've been trying it on as I was knitting to make sure it would fit okay, and it felt really nice and warm and cozy. Yeah, so the ripping part I had to do was with the dark blue, the navy. I wanted it to be like right at the bottom, like here on the sleeves, but I realized that because of the way the sweater is, that's like the rib will basically, like if I'm about to put the rib, I have a few, maybe like another inch or so before I put the rib, and I think what would have happened is that, so all of that from here down, including the rib, kind of like here, would have ended up being dark navy, but you wouldn't be able to see it, I think, because the rib would kind of cinch in and it will be kind of under, kind of like in hoodies often, and then you wouldn't be able to see the navy at all. So that's why I ripped back and I did two big stripes of the blue, of the navy, and then I went into the blue, and I don't think it would be really noticeable much once it's finished. I'll show you when I'm done if it's true, but that's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. So yeah, I have just a little bit left, and as I was finishing the cuffs, I tried the tubular cast off. So like I said a few episodes ago, I did a tubular cast on for the neck, and it's really nice. I really like how it looks. The finished finish looks really nice, and so I tried the same for the tubular to finish with the tubular cast off. So I have to say it's a little more complicated than the tubular cast on, because this one you just kind of knit it. There's no like sewing, or like you really just do like manipulate knitting, I guess I would say. But with the cast off you have to like sew it in a certain way. So it took some trial and error until I was able to actually read it. But I mean, it's so beautiful. I'll insert some pictures here, some video here of how it looks like from close. It just looks really well. Like the finish is, it's like it just disappears. You don't know where it finished. And it's very stretchy. It's really perfect. I think I'll probably try to do that from now on. It's really worth it. It does take obviously longer than the regular bind off, but I'd say it's worth it. And then the other thing that I'm left with is like all these ends to weave in once I'm done. My hope was to finish it and only have the ends to weave in, but yeah, I have a little bit more to go. I have to say, once I finished one sleeve, I kind of liked it again, and I was into knitting it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna finish. And then I finished the second sleeve, and I was still like on the roll. And then when I had to rip back on the body, that really annoyed me, because I guess the sleeves, they go pretty fast. You feel like you're progressing, but with the body, it's like takes so much longer. And after doing the sleeves, the body feels even slower than it did before. But yeah, I used all of my navy. There's no more navy left. And then I still have a whole skein of the blue plus most of the bowl. And then I have all of this left from the gray stripes, like the blue-gray stripes. They look gray here next to all the blue, but if you look at them without that as a reference, it's kind of like bluish gray actually. It's a very pretty color. So I have that left, and I'll probably use it for some socks with some other yarn, because that's not gonna be enough for some socks for me, or for an adult anyway. So yeah, I'm knitting those on 3.25. So because it's smaller gauge than the pattern calls for, I'm knitting the 2XL size to get the medium size. And I compared it. I have a small no frills sweater, small size, and I compared it, and it does seem like it is a medium, because it's bigger, but not a lot bigger, like slightly bigger. So yeah, I'm really happy, because it seems like I'm achieving what I was hoping for. And you never know when you're like trying to, not follow the pattern exactly, but to kind of adjust it to your needs. You never know what's gonna happen. So I'm pretty happy with the color management, what happened with the colors, and with the thickness of the fabric I'm getting, how warm it is, how it drapes. It's kind of like a really cozy hoodie type sweater, I think it's gonna be. So it's just perfect for wearing it at home or outside on a cold day or warm day. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. Hopefully next time I'll just show you some pictures or video of the finished objects, and I'll probably won't have it because I'll give it to her. Because I don't know if I mentioned, this is a gift from my friend, and her birthday was the end of the 30th of January, so it's passed. I gave her something else, but she's waiting for this, so I'm hoping to finish it soon. So that's that. Oh, I lost my bowl. So now that I'm almost finished with that, I started really thinking what I'm gonna do next. There's tons of stuff I want to do next. Some of them are not even knitting, but I'm not gonna talk about them today. I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about two things that are knitting related, that I'm planning, future knitting projects. So the first one that I'll probably cast on right once I'm finished with this is mittens for my son. He's been asking for a while. And he has his birthday at the end of this month. So I thought, okay, I'll make him, even though I don't really want to because I'm afraid he'll lose them. And what happened last year, I started knitting him mittens for his birthday, even though he didn't ask them, but I thought it'll be nice and he'll be happy. And they were like really nice color work mittens, and I really enjoyed knitting them. And as I was knitting them, I started thinking, like, what if he loses them? I'll be so upset. And he's likely, it's a very possible scenario that he might lose them in daycare or just outside on the playground or whatever. So I just thought that would really be annoying, like to spend all the time knitting this really nice color work and then it'll be gone. So I end up ripping it out, and instead I end up knitting him a hat, and he was pretty happy with that. But this year he's specifically been he's actually been asking for a sweater, but there's no way I'll get that done before his birthday. I'm actually thinking to make him the Montrealer with the same yarn that I'm knitting the no frills sweater. So it's a DK weight. Says here, I think I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it once again. So it's 100% fine Highland wool. It's called Highland DK by Cloudborn Fibers. It's a really great price point. It's one of those cheaper yarns on webs, and it's really warm and soft, and I'm really happy with this yarn. So the only thing is I don't think it's machine washable, but I mean that's okay, because I'll be washing their clothes. So, although I haven't been so good with not washing stuff that shouldn't be washed, because I did felt a sweater of mine recently, maybe a month ago. I talked about it in previous episodes, but I'll make sure not to do the same with their stuff. So yeah, I'm thinking to make that pattern. It's like a hoodie with a hood, and there's like some pockets. I'm thinking maybe to make one for him and one for my daughter, so they'll have the matching. But since I'm not gonna be able to make it in time for his birthday, there's really no point like rushing into it right now. So and then after his birthday, it's like the winter is coming to an end. So I don't know if I'll make them this year, or maybe next year or whatever, but this is a plan I shouldn't have been talking about maybe. But anyway, the mittens I will do. But what happened is I was looking for the mittens, for the yarn that I was planning to use for the mittens just now before recording to show you. And then I realized I already used it for something, probably, because I just can't find it. And I think I used it for a hat or something. I don't know. I can't find it. So I found a different yarn that I think will be really good as well. So it's called Elenka, and it's called Canada's Icelandic type yarn, and it was produced in Brandon, Manitoba, and it's made in Canada obviously, and it's pure virgin wool. So it's kind of like the Lopi yarn, the thicker Lopi yarn, and it's really nice. I actually got this yarn from what they're called, Value Village. So it's like a secondhand store, and I always check their yarns. Sometimes they have like, they usually put like a bunch of yarns in a bag, and often there'll be like one nice yarn there, or like one that I like anyway, and a bunch of like stuff that I probably either I don't like the color, or they look like not the type of yarn I'd like or whatever. But with this one I was lucky. There were like a few balls of yarn there. They were all different, like different weights, but there were like 2 or 3 that I did like. So yes, I got that. It was pretty cheap. I don't remember how much, but anyway, I think it's kind of like vintage, I guess. I don't think it's being produced anymore, but maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea. I haven't checked. So yeah, it's kind of like single ply, not very thickly spun. So let me try. Yeah, you can rip it pretty easily. I'm planning to use the Tin Can Knits pattern. They have like this basic free pattern to kind of learn how to knit mittens, but also you can really adjust it like to whatever yarn you have, whatever needles you want, whatever fabric you want to get. So I'm gonna try that one. I think it's gonna be pretty simple. So it's gonna be just one color and just simple, no cables, no nothing. And my plan is like to see how he wears them this year and the beginning of next year, like whenever it gets winter again. And if it goes well, maybe I'll make him some color work mittens. Although since I'm planning to do the Montrealer, I don't know if I need to, but I feel like even if he loses these, I'm not gonna be too upset because it's gonna be really quick knit anyway. so not a lot of effort gonna go into it. And then what I'm gonna line it with is, so I have this coat that my friend didn't want it anymore, so she gave it to me, and at first I was really excited, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wear it. It's like this French style coat. It's not super warm, it's kind of like for fall here, I guess, or I guess it depends what you do. If you stand in the playground all day long, like for hours, then it's not warm enough in the winter. But maybe if you just, go into the subway or the bus, well, I don't know if people do that anymore, they just work from home. But I don't know, if you go in and out of your car to get somewhere, then maybe this is enough, even when it's colder. But for me, it was really just for fall, and it's kind of like, it's very pretty, but it's just not practical for me, I guess. So I had it for a while, and I wore it a few times, and I had it in the closet for a while, and then I asked her if she wants it back, and she said no, and I asked her if I can like use it for parts, and she said like, yeah, sure, I don't care. Do whatever you want. So I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna use the wool. Like you can see, I already took the buttons for this sweater, this cardigan, and I'm gonna use the wool fabric from here to line the mittens. So I'll see how it goes. I have never done something like that, so I'll keep you posted with that. So that's one thing I'm gonna make, and then the other thing that I'm not sure if I'll start it right away, but it is a plan, something I want to make. So I actually started this sweater here, which is, what's it called? It's called Rhodes Point Ganzi by Courtney Kelly. I don't know if I have a nice picture. I'll put the link on Ravelry and you can check the pictures. So it's from a book that's called Vintage Modern Knits, and it's a nice pattern, but I don't think I'm gonna wear it. Like, I kind of like the idea of making a Ganzi sweater. It has a really cool underarm construction, and I wanted to try that, but I don't know, I just feel like I'm probably not gonna wear it as much, so I'm probably gonna unravel it. And what happened with this would be the second time unraveling project with this yarn. So I made something like basically it was a sweater. I can't remember what it was, but it was last year. I knit it all. It was like all knit in parts. So I knit all the parts. All I had to do is block it and sew it up, and then I just put it away, and I never did that. And then I realized I'm not gonna wear that sweater, so I unraveled it and I started this one while I was waiting for the yarn for the no frill sweater from my friend. So it went pretty well. Like, I have maybe half of the body. But now that I had a break from it, I don't know if that's the best use for this yarn. And it is a very special yarn for me because, oh, you can see I didn't unravel all the parts. I guess I was unraveling it as I went. So that's still part of the other sweater I made. So yeah, this yarn is really special for me because it's recycled yarn that I over-dyed. I kind of over-dyed it the way people dye sock blanks with natural dye. I don't know if you've seen it. I think Maria from Ninja Chickens does it, and she has a few times where she showed how she does it. So basically, so I got that sweater. It was like $10, I don't know, from a secondhand store. It was lamb's wool. It was some brand, some specific brand. I can't remember right now, but it doesn't matter. And then I think I took off the sleeves and took the body apart, like two parts of the body, and then I just kind of put like all kinds of like leaves and petals, whatever was there, and I rolled it, whatever I collected from the part basically, and I rolled it up and I put some twine around it and I boiled it in water. I think that's what I did. And then when I opened it, it was like some stuff colored it, some stuff didn't. It was kind of like all over the place. But then when I unraveled it, and you can see how when you knead the fabric, you get like this really cool effect, right? So I guess kind of like how you would get with a sock blank when you re-knead it into socks, suddenly there's like totally different pattern than there was on the sock blank. So it's really cool, and it's really special for me because of that. The yarn did felt a little bit, I think, but not too badly. So I don't want it to just lie there, and I don't want to make a sweater out of it that I don't think I'm gonna really wear or like. So what I decided to do is I was inspired by Knitting Traditions. Inga from Knitting Traditions, she often kind of like designs her own patterns for herself. And whenever I watched other YouTubers who are designers talk about their design process and whatever, it always feels to me like a job, like, you know, it's like you have to be that to do that. And I always felt like, no, I'm not gonna be good at that, and I'm not interested in that, so like I'll just knit from patterns. But the way Inga does it, she kind of like just does it for herself, and then I don't know why, but it's how it clicked for me. They're like, oh, I can just like make it for myself and see what happens. I think the other part is that I've been knitting long enough and I've knit enough garments, so I feel like I can try it. And I guess also because I knit with this yarn and unraveled it so many times that if I have to do it again, maybe it's not going to be that big of a deal. So I'm going to try to design myself a cardigan. I kind of have an idea. I wanted to have like an simple all-over pattern. So maybe like a broken rib or a basket weave, something along those lines. I haven't decided yet. And I wanted to have pockets, and I wanted it to be a little bit smaller, maybe a lot smaller than this cardigan. So this cardigan, I made it bigger than I should have. I guess I can talk about that for a second because that's what I'm wearing. So this cardigan is the must-have cardigan. It's, I don't know if you can see it any better if I stand up. So I hope you can see that it's kind of big on me. So that's how I actually wanted it originally. I wanted it to be bigger, but I think I kind of went overboard with it. So I can't remember if I did the medium or large size. Although I think I probably should, like if I wanted to fit well, I would do the small size. So I think I did the medium, but I'm not 100% sure. But then I also decided that I didn't want the ribbing to cinch in. So I think I started with the sleeve. So I did the sleeve as per pattern. So I did make the ribbing on the sleeves on smaller needles than the rest of the sleeve. But with the body, I decided that I didn't want it to cinch in. So I made it on the same size needles that I need the rest of the body, and that was a mistake because now it's like kind of like too big. I think the smaller needle would have been good. It wouldn't have made it. I guess I was afraid it would be too tight because I didn't want it to like be tight on my body at the bottom. I still wanted to have positive ease, but I don't think it would have made it that tight. It would have still had positive ease, but just a lot less than it has now. I still really love this cardigan. It took me 6 months, I think, or more to put the buttons in here, and those are the buttons actually from that, like I said, from that coat. The only problem is that I didn't realize, but some of the buttons are smaller, so I took the buttons from like the front of the coat and I think the pockets, and I'm guessing that the ones on the pockets were smaller. So I didn't even realize until after I sewed it in, and I came to show my husband. He's like, why are the buttons different sizes? And I was like, what? So at least I'm lucky that both small ones are at the bottom, so it looks kind of meant to be that way. But yeah, I really enjoyed knitting this cardigan. I really like the pattern. I love the yarn. This is also recycled yarn that I also bought the sweater from Value Village, and I think that was a hand knit sweater. So for a long time I was trying to figure out what was this yarn, and I still haven't really figured out. I had a few, I can't remember what I thought it was, but then I remember realizing that it's not that. But yeah, so for a long time I wore it open, and then I finally put on the buttons, and now I wear it closed all the time, I guess to compensate for the past. But yeah, it's nice. It is kind of scratchy. I don't really feel it anymore, but whenever I pick up my daughter, if she's not wearing a shirt or whatever, she's like, ow, it's painful, it hurts. And so it is scratchy for her body, so I guess it's scratchy, but I don't know, it doesn't bother me. I'm wearing a short sleeve under, and it seems fine. The only problem is because it's so big, I can't really wear it under a coat because it's like bunches up, and so that's the minus with it. I can't really wear it outside. Maybe when it gets warm enough to wear just that, I can, but I don't know, I feel like it's like a home cardigan now. So I'm hoping that this one, the goal is that this one will have a much tighter fit, but still I don't want it to be like tight. I still want it to have positive ease. So I think I have a hoodie that I like. So I'll try to kind of make it based on that, maybe a bit bigger. I wanted to have pockets. I wanted to have a neck, not like a V-neck, but like the one that goes like this and then down. I think maybe a V-neck. Maybe I'll change my mind. I do like the V-neck because I don't like when it flaps, and I think like the neck where like it goes like this and then just down, it does tend to flap if it's open. And I know I don't like it to be close at the top here, so maybe it will be a V-neck still. I don't know. I haven't decided. But yeah, that's the plan. I hope I have enough yarn for whatever I plan, whatever it's gonna be. So I have less yarn of this, I think, so it can't be as big as this anyway. So yeah, we'll see. I'll keep you posted. When I talk about it, I'm really excited to do it, but then when I think about all the other stuff I want to make, I'm kind of like, oh no, but I have to make this before and this, and I have to mend stuff, and like, what about the sewing? What about the cross stitch? Too many things. But that's good. At least there's stuff to look forward to. So yeah, I think that's all for the knitting and crafting portion. I don't really have anything sourdough this time. I don't know. I think I lost my sourdough abilities. So I can still make the rye I showed you last time how to make, but any other wheat bread I've been making, it just kind of turns out flat. And I think it's because it's been cold, so the stuff wasn't rising fast enough, but I had to use it already. So I would kind of proceed even though it wasn't ready, and then it wouldn't rise properly. And I don't know, it was a little annoying to get such flat. Like, I'm not obsessed about open crumb and like perfect crumb and whatever, like people put on Instagram those beautiful shots. Like, yeah, obviously it'd be nice to get a bread like that, but or like a nice ear when, like, you know, when the bread opens up. But I'm not obsessed about, but it would be nice to get something a bit more substantial. It's kind of annoying when you have like this pretty flat bread that you open up and there's like a big hole in the middle, and then like the rest of it around. It's hard to like put stuff on it, and it's just annoying. So I'm actually making a batch of the 100% whole wheat sourdough by Matthew Duffy. So I'm hoping it will work out. I'm gonna insert at the end, I think, video of what I got. I'm gonna try. So I'm making 2 loaves. So I'm gonna try and make one in the cast iron pan with like a lid, pot. I guess it's more like a cast iron pot with a lid. And the other one in just like a loaf pan, and I'll see, like, the loaf pan's supposed to help it rise, right? Because it gives it sides, so it can really only go up. There's no that much space where it can go to the side, so it will have to get taller. So I'll see what I'll get, and if it works out well or interesting, maybe I'll shoot a video of it for next time. So in the end, they didn't turn out that bad, although the one that was in the loaf pan was definitely much better. Even though the round one looks pretty good, it had lots of holes inside, but I'll definitely try to make a video for how I make them for next time. Also, everything that I'm talking about, all the links to patterns, tutorials, everything is in the description box below. So if you want to see more specifics, that's where you can go. You can find me on Ravelry as Olga Moon and on Instagram as Sourdough Knits. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you soon and have a nice couple of weeks or so. Thanks. Bye bye.